With Bitcoin absolutely collapsing to levels we haven't seen since, 10 hours ago, are the bears now in full control? No. But are the bears still kind of in control? No. But are the bears still a whittle itsy bitsy teensy weensy kind of in control? No. And after you hear what just happened to crypto, you might never be bearish. Again. So if you're new here, hit that like, subscribe, get signed up to Femex Blow Up for my Bitcoin or altcoins, and for a limited time, receive up to a $30,000 deposit bonus. And without any further ado, let's completely and absolutely dump on into the price of Bitcoin, which, as you can see on the daily chart, we have now entered another potential 12 to 24 hour bear market. You can see we have a little itsy bitsy red candle on the charts here for Bitcoin. Now, why is this happening? Is Bitcoin about to have a backtest, and is something even bigger about to happen? So before we jump into the charts, let's take a look at a few gigantic items today. So in the last Bitcoin bull run, we didn't even make a new all-time high until December of 2020. This time, we're about 35% above previous all-time highs, and we're not even in December yet. So keep in mind, we're very much ahead of schedule. Okay, that's mainly the point I want to highlight there. We are very ahead of schedule. Keep in mind as well, we actually go to a weekly chart. We hit new all-time highs very early. We hit new all-time highs back in March. And in the previous, as I just stated, in the previous bull market, we didn't even hit all-time highs until about a month from now, if we would compare it to last time. So we pretty much hit new all-time highs like 9 months early or something. Okay, so keep in mind, we're very ahead of schedule. Not only is this normal, it's actually more bullish than normal. We're on a more bullish pace than we've ever been. So also it's worth noting that the biggest wealth transfer in human history is happening now, and most people think it's just a scam because they listen to the mainstream media. I mean, in general, I have been, the mainstream media in every sense has been rubbing me the wrong way, specifically for the past year and a half, 2 years now. The mainstream media is just absolute garbage in quite literally every sense. Politically, investment wise, literally anything the mainstream media is telling you is basically the opposite of the truth. And so with that being said, most of the people in this world still think crypto is just a huge scam. But the thing that I also want to highlight is that everybody, including myself, everybody that is a Bitcoin investor and everybody that's big into crypto, we all started as a skeptic. We all started as somebody that was that doesn't something about it doesn't feel right. Maybe it doesn't sound right. I don't understand it. Everybody, before you get into Bitcoin, you have to be a skeptic. It's not like somebody is born as a baby and they come out and their first words are, Bitcoin to the moon, right? That's not how the world works. Basically, if you're an investor in Bitcoin, at one point, you were probably skeptical of it and you thought, what is this? Why should I buy this? What is the point of this? So also just keep that in mind. Everybody that's here, everybody that's a moon boy right now started as somebody that wasn't a moon boy. You're not born a moon boy. I mean, my children will be born moon boys, obviously, and moon women, moon boys and moon girls and moon babies. But we also see breaking news that the Pennsylvania House of Representatives introduced legislation that would enable the state to hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet as a reserve asset in a broader movement to recognize Bitcoin as a store of value. Just, this is one more building block, one more piece of news. But we also see President Trump wanting to eliminate all crypto or all capital gains on crypto issued by US companies. That would mean things such as ADA, Algo, XRP, HBAR, and many more would be fully tax-free. If that's actually true, and if that actually happens, not only would it make cryptocurrency not only would it make the US the crypto capital of the world, it would literally make the US the crypto capital of the universe. If that actually was true, people would be begging and squealing and screaming, trying to get into this country legally. Most likely very wealthy people trying to get into this country to take advantage of this absolutely insane opportunity here. It would make Made in America cryptocurrencies the most logical investment for US citizens, as they would not have to spend up to 37% taxes on their gains. It would completely, if you want to make the US the crypto capital of the world, this is one way to do it. And when I say one way, this is the way to do it. This is the biggest thing you could ever imagine. So again, this is a possibility. It's a future that is possible potentially, right? It's a possibility now. It's not guaranteed whatsoever. I'm not saying that this is guaranteed, but it's a possibility because of the Trump administration. Okay. Do you think Kamala would be sitting here saying, oh, we would? No, they'd probably try to jack up the gains or the taxes from 37% to like 60% or something crazy, right? I mean, Democrats, especially Elizabeth Warren, they're not big fans of crypto. And it looks as though Trump, but more importantly, most of his cabinet, I mean, J.D. Vance, Vivek, all these people are very pro-Bitcoin. So again, this could end up being very good. It's a possibility. It's not a guarantee, but it's huge if it actually would happen. We also see Van Eck predicting about $180,000 per Bitcoin this cycle earlier on CNBC. You know, take it with a grain of salt, but still pretty big. And one thing I want to highlight as well, because I got some comments yesterday talking about somebody, you know, they had taken some gains. Guys, I mean, I'm not here to just say like never take gains, right? In fact, I say the opposite. What is the point of accumulating wealth if you're not going to use it to like make your life better, right? Take some profits, of course. Take profits. If you're in a better position and you have the ability to like change your life and make it better, then do it. I've personally have never been a fan of like just buy Bitcoin and never sell it. What's the point of that? Imagine doing that 10 years ago. And let's say you had like $100 million in Bitcoin, but you still lived, you know, in like a 1-bedroom apartment for like $1,000 a month and didn't spend any money. What is the point? Obviously, let's use our brains a little bit. If you make a ton of money, then enjoy it, right? So, you know, it's not, I mean, net worth is important, but it's more about freedom. Once you have a lot of money, the whole point of having the money is to be free and do what you want. And if what you want to do is buy some jet skis and you know, have steak 3 times a day as a meal, then do that. I mean, obviously, right? What would be the point? We also see, though, that the US Bitcoin spot ETFs are now estimated at holding about 1 million Bitcoin. As a group, they're likely to pass Satoshi's estimated holdings of about 1.1 million Bitcoin in just the next few days. We talked yesterday about how the Bitcoin spot ETFs are the most successful ETFs in the history of the world. And this is another metric which is completely mind-blowing. It's absolutely insane. Alex Becker talking about that Bitcoin has to truly fully make its move before altcoins really start to move, right? So if it's going to go up and then down in range and just be volatile, but liquidity will move into alts once Bitcoin is, you know, has made its full move. This happens every time. So as he says in his response here, that Bitcoin hasn't really showed signs of stalling yet. Right? And of course not. I think Bitcoin's going to go way above 100K before altcoins really start exploding. But with that being said, I mean, altcoins I truly think are going to start making somewhat of a move, not the mega move, but somewhat of a move very soon. You know, myself, I've also been talking about this, the entire altcoin chart. We've broken out as of the last week, and I think gains are going to be coming. We've already seen some nice gains for altcoins, but basically my point of saying this is that these are not even a fraction of the gains that we will see in a true alt season. This is not alt season yet. Okay, this is not alt season. This is alt starting to make some movement, but a true alt season looks more like, you know, like this, just straight up vertical, massive gainers. But for that to happen, Bitcoin has to cool off a little bit. Bitcoin needs to basically stall. It needs to stall a little bit. You remember when altcoins gained the most in the last cycle? I can show you. It was right in this period. Back in May and in April of 2021, and then also back here at the end of 2021, around October, September, and November, Bitcoin stalled out. It traded sideways here, and this is when altcoins did the best. So you can see if Bitcoin maybe does something like this, say it comes up and maybe we trade sideways, or let's actually say, you know, maybe go even higher, maybe do something like this and trade here. This sideways trading range is when altcoins are going to completely go bananas. These are the alt seasons. This is what an alt season looks like on a Bitcoin chart, like sideways, near the top. It needs to be basically going sideways near the top, exactly like back here and back in here in this double top of the last cycle. But keep in mind, one of the things I highlighted yesterday was that the CME gap lies all the way down here around like 78, 77,000 US dollars. So if Bitcoin would have a pullback, let's say we have a pullback over the next couple of days or over the next few weeks. Maybe we go a lot higher first, or maybe we don't. You know, just don't count this out. It's possible Bitcoin comes back to this range, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay, it's not a bad thing at all. We saw Bitcoin dominance actually hit a new high yesterday, about 61%. And exactly on track. You can see how Bitcoin starts exploding after the election. I mean, if we zoom in here, you can see, yeah, Bitcoin's really starting to move post-election. And I think it's going to move for a lot longer. My opinion is over the next 300 days, we still have roughly of absolute pumping. But yeah, I mean, let's take a look at just a few charts quick, see if anything big is going on. I mean, not really. I mean, this is a daily chart. We're still right at all-time highs. I mean, could we have a massive pullback, like I just said, and come down to fill this range of the gap? Possible. We also don't necessarily have to. I think it's very possible, but I also think it's possible we don't. And in the short term, really, I mean, the momentum is so strong here. I expect that, for example, this is the weekly MACD. I expect this chart, this green here, to kind of look like something like this over the next 6 months or so. I expect it to like go up, and then once we top out, maybe in like January, February, or March, start swinging the other way. And we could even have like something similar to here back in 2021, or sorry, in even just more recently in 2023, coming into 2024, where there was like a double pop, basically. And we also saw the same thing if we go back on the MACD to the last bull market in 2021. We had this thing here. We swung massively dumpy for months, but then we swung back up and had the ultimate top around, or at the new all-time highs, where altcoins specifically did really well when Bitcoin did this second pump. And then we went into the bear market. I mean, look at the MACD in the bear market. Look at this thing. This thing just plummeted. Look at the MACD, just complete dumpage. But here we are on the MACD currently. And no, I think we're in an amazing position. This was the very first leg of this bull market here, late 2023, early 2024. And I think this will be the biggest pump of the bull market, specifically mainly for, I mean, Bitcoin definitely, but altcoins actually will do something here. Altcoins really didn't do, I mean, they didn't get back to their all-time highs in this pump. I think during this next coming pump, this is when altcoins absolutely will go to their all-time highs and beyond. And basically, actually, that makes me remember another point. I got a lot of comments about people saying, you know, you shouldn't be buying here. So let's be honest with each other. Like, is buying here for the very first time? If you're buying crypto for the first time right here, are you going to make the most money possible? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The best time to be buying, okay, I've been telling people to buy Bitcoin basically since it was $1,500 or about $2,000. But the best time of this cycle was right about here, around 16K, obviously back in the end of 2022. And also pretty much any time in 2023, realistically. But if I'm being honest, is buying here going to be a bad move over the next 6 months? I don't think so, because I think Bitcoin's going a lot higher. Is it the best move? No. You should have been buying back when Bitcoin was under 30K, ideally. Anything under 30K, honestly, was like really good, a really good place to buy. But are you going to be, you know, buying the top right here? Maybe short term, like if you buy right here, maybe we'll crash for a few weeks or something. But ultimately, I think we're going way higher. But keep in mind, if you really want to truly benefit from an entire Bitcoin bull market, then you need to buy the lows. You need to buy during the bear market. You need to buy when nobody wants to buy. If you're getting excited about Bitcoin for the first time right now, but you've known about it for a couple of years, let's be honest, you're not doing this as good as you could have done it. You want to be buying when nobody is buying. And now, I think for the very first time of these last 2 years, finally new people are going to start coming in. Finally, people are going to start getting excited again, and we're going to get a taste of euphoria. And ultimately, over the next 6 or so months, I think we are going to see euphoria. And I think we are going to see this market enter a period of being a little overheated. I don't think we're there just yet, but I think it's, you know, if you've been here for the past few years, this is what you've waited for. And I think you're about to see massive gains. Bitcoin's going to go above 100K in my opinion very soon. And altcoins are really going to start adding valuation. Specifically though, when Bitcoin kind of stalls out for a few weeks at all-time highs. And get signed up with Femex below for my Bitcoin or altcoins. Remember, 30K deposit bonus up to if you use my link below, limited time. Without further ado,